it's Margaret with Days Well Spent, and in today's video, we're going to be making kosher dill pickles. I'm going to walk you step by step how to make the dill pickles, cover the ingredients. You're going to need about 3.5 pounds of cucumbers. These are from our garden. They're a pickling cucumber, but you could also use cucumbers from the grocery store. Just make sure that you avoid the English cucumbers. You're going to need about 2 cups of water. You're going to need 1 cup of white vinegar. You want to make sure that it has a 5% acidity. Then you're going to need about 1/4 cup of a dill pickle mix. I'm going to be using the Ball kosher dill pickle mix. For the tools, you're going to need a cutting board and a knife, measuring cup and something to stir with. You need a non-reactive pan, so you want to make sure that you avoid anything that's aluminum. You'll also need your basic canning supplies, including either 4 pint-sized jars or 3 quart-sized jars. And I like to use the Ball canning jars with the Sure-Tight lids. If you'd like to preserve your pickles for longer, you're going to need either a water bath canner or the Ball Fresh Tech home canning system. Go ahead and get started by preheating our jars. Again, I'm making the 3-quart recipe, so I'm going to place 3 quart-sized jars down in the system. I'm going to go ahead and shut and lock, and we just hit preheat and start. Now we can go ahead and start getting our pickling brine ready. We're going to need 3 cups of water. We're going to need 1/4 cup of the pickle mix plus 2 tablespoons. Now for the white vinegar, if you're making the 4 pints, you're going to need 1 cup of the vinegar. If you're making the 3 quarts like I am, you need 1.5. Okay. I'm going to mix this around a little bit. Then we're going to place it on the stove and let it come to a boil. We don't want to let it boil down. We just want to let it get to a boil, and then we'll turn it off. Okay, so while our jars are heating up and our pickling mix is coming to a boil, let's go ahead and get our cucumbers ready. We're going to slice off the ends. And in order for us to get the correct head space, we need our pickles to be about 5.5 inches long. That should be about 5.5 to 6 inches. It is. So we're going to get the ends cut off, and then we want to slice it in half, and then depending on the size you like your pickles, in half again. Go through now and get all of your cucumbers sliced into spears and ready to go. Okay, so our jars are done. Our pickling mix has come to a boil, and let me show you what I did with the pickling mix. I just went ahead. I think it's easier to put it into a large measuring cup and pour from that, but you can use a ladle and ladle it from your pan. Go ahead and we're going to take out 1 jar at a time. And it would be the same if you've preheated your jars in your water bath canner. You want to just take out 1 at a time. The pickles and put them upright inside the jar. You just try to get as many in there as you can. Okay. And then we're going to leave 1/2 inch of head space. It's going to be this line up here. I'm just going to give this a bit of a stir, and then we're going to pour in our liquid. Let's go ahead and grab the funnel. Remove any air bubbles. Recheck the headspace, make sure it's correct. Take a clean, damp towel and just wipe around the edge. It's going to make sure there's nothing on there to impede the seal. Take a new clean lid and place it on top, and then a ring, and tighten it down. Now you're going to place this into the canner and take out another jar and repeat the process. So now to process our pickles, we're going to go ahead, shut and lock the lid. We're going to press pickles, recipe 2, and then start. In 35 minutes, we'll have some delicious pickles ready. The timer's gone off. I'm going to go ahead and open the canner. Now we're going to take our jars out of the canner using our jar lifter. I'm going to place them over on some kitchen towels. You want to make sure that wherever you're putting your jars to cool that they won't be disturbed for about 12 to 24 hours. Now, during the cooling process, you want to make sure that you don't move the jars and that you don't press in on the center. We're going to allow these to completely cool. Then they'll be able to be stored, and you can store them for up to 18 months if you're using the Sure-Tight lids. It's suggested that you let your pickles sit and rest for at least a week or two before opening the jars. You can store these in the pantry or in the refrigerator.